Welcome to the Wedco podcast, where wedding wisdom meets street smarts.
We're dishing out all the tips, tricks, and wedding goss to take your wedding to the next level.
Time to ditch the formalities and get this party started. This episode is brought to you by MusicBed.
We use MusicBed for all of our wedding films and even the intro and the outro of this podcast.
With their amazing AI song search functionality, we can always find the perfect song for all of our film projects.
MusicBed.
Get at it. Hello and welcome to the Wedco podcast. I'm Togger.
And I'm Joel, and we're here at the gorgeous Redleaf Wollombi.
Awesome, well done. Today we're Sam from Silent Shout. Thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Hello, thanks for having us.
It's been ever since Joel had a wedding at Gavin Bar, his second home, and we met you. We can't stop singing your praises to everyone. Every single wedding, we're just disappointed in the entertainment. So,
honestly though, obviously we've been chatting for the last couple of minutes, and I'm just I just want to say so much because I've been shooting weddings for 6 years, and dance floors were okay. And you get a really good feel with couples. I meet with most of my couples, and you're chatting to them on a Zoom call or a coffee or whatever, and you're like, oh, what's the vibe going to be? And they're like, oh, we're big dance crew, love getting on the dance floor, drinks are flowing, blah, blah. And then we're sick. We get to the dance floor shots and we're like, there's 4 people on the dance floor. 2 of them are grandma. And you're just man. But then your dance floor, I was like, bro,
yeah.
I'd never, if this is a dance floor, I've never shot a dance floor before, you know?
Sick.
So,
that's good to know.
Yeah,
I remember you cut to Lion King at one stage, and it's still such a vivid memory in my brain that I've been doing this so long, and that'll be probably when I finish shooting weddings, that one cut to Lion King. I was like, no, just epic.
No, it was sick. Hands down, you're incredible at what you do.
Welcome to the podcast. Do you want to say who we are and what your brand is and everything like that?
And
I feel really good about myself right now. This is so nice. Great.
You're I'm not that guy. I'm a celebrant.
I just started DJing. What are you talking about? No, that's awesome. Thanks so much. That's means a lot. So yeah, thank you.
No, pleasure. Awesome. Well deserved.
Yeah. I think, we chat about maybe a little bit about your backstory. I think we start there and then we can kind of build into more. So,
for sure.
Who are you? How long have you been in the industry and everything like that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, as mentioned before, I'm Sam from Silent Shout. I've been DJing since 2009 was when my first gig, I guess, started. Mm-hmm. And then I jumped into I didn't really jump into the wedding world. I just sort of as you get older, people ask you to start DJing weddings. Yeah. And I think I DJed my first one 2012, I'm going to say. So 12 years in the wedding world. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, so are you doing any gigs outside of weddings at the moment, or are you solely focused on weddings?
No, so definitely DJ outside of weddings. So I still do the club scene as well, and also run an event in Newcastle as well called Made on Sunday, which is a boiler room sort of style event, which is awesome.
Boiler room, I've seen that a lot. That's just does that just mean confined room kind of thing?
Yes, essentially the entertainment in the middle of the dance floor instead of on a stage.
Yeah, gotcha.
The DJ
and you're
would be
in among it,
in the middle of the room. Exactly. Yeah. And then it's a boiler room sweating. So
gotcha.
Awesome.
That's fair.
And are you bringing a lot from those gigs you do outside of the wedding world? Are you bringing a lot of that into the weddings?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's sort of the Silent Shout, let's call it the Silent Shout difference, I guess.
Yeah.
Is we're trying to bring the club to the wedding world sort of thing. Yeah. So there's so many couples and people that met in nightclubs or love music, love going to music festivals. People go overseas to go Tomorrowland, Coachella, all these sort of things. They all get married and they're all looking for, not all of them know a DJ sort of thing. So that's where we sort of jump in sort of thing. So, and bring that club quality sound or festival vibe into the wedding space.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it definitely was that case. When we first heard you, I was I feel most of the entertainment, I guess, the reception entertainment was very much the live musician that brings in a $400 deck with Serato loaded on their computer and just throw, I don't know, we had one where we had Skrillex, Bangarang, at dinner, and we were what
second
the
song
fuck is
in.
going on? Grandma's just trying to chill.
What'd you say?
Yeah. So it was just, yeah, I feel like the quality it just kind of like really opened our eyes to like, oh, you can actually like create a really, really cool space, or you can just have someone that is an incredible muso, beautiful voice, blah, 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 but like it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Which like that was just night and day. I've never been a party or a club or anything like that. So it just like blew my flipping mind. I was like, pingers. Maybe not.
The whole way home, the amount he talked and he just told me he loved me. So
Just rubbing my chest.
yeah.
Oh my God, this is so sick.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
But
Maybe let's talk about when we met. I didn't realize you had like a big team behind you.
Yeah.
Is that something more recent or was that the case back then as well?
So it obviously just started with just myself.
Yep.
And yeah, as I sort of like got older and sort of like realized, because like I was all still like back then really about the club scene and really wanting to push for that career. Like that's what I really wanted to do, was being a touring club DJ, playing festivals and all that sort of stuff. And then as I kept getting asked to do weddings and stuff like that, I was like, oh, I don't really want to DJ weddings. But then I soon realized I'm like, there's people out there that want a great DJ for their wedding sort of thing. They don't want just the same old stuff.
yeah.
And so I just, started there. And then as I realized that like I can't do them all myself, started to take those learnings to new team members and bringing more DJs on board.
Yeah.
Because same for DJs outside of that, they're like, oh, like I don't want to DJ weddings. Well, I'm like, well, we're doing it different.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to love it.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, so like the team has just slowly but surely grown over the years.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then probably in the last year sort of thing, it's really sort of like taken off sort of thing. So yeah, we've got musicians now on board, like soloists.
Awesome.
I think we've got like 7 DJs and 7 or 8 soloists as well. So.
And I would assume that, say, like most of those DJs are your caliber, or are you kind of, have you got like different price points where you're like, cool, you get an entry, or is it just like Silent Shout, we're the best, we're bringing that club vibe? Like how does that kind of work? Yeah,
so like because there's more of us now, there's definitely like different price points sort of thing.
Yep.
And people that have different styles, but we have mixes and videos and stuff of each DJ. So we really sort of like focus on matching people with the right DJ.
Yep.
Whether they're like more hip hop focused or something like that, or like 90s or whatever, or like more clubby, they'd sort of like see me.
Yep.
And yeah.
Cool. And I know you travel around a lot for weddings. Is this all kind of based out of like the Newcastle, Sydney region, or how's the team? Are they based locally here?
Yeah, so we're all based in Newcastle.
Yep.
But we definitely travel a lot. Like I met you guys in Gabonbar, which is like Queensland.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, like I just got back from like South Africa and I'm going to California next Tuesday. So like travel a lot. So
sick.
Yeah, which is great.
For weddings as well?
Yeah. So
heck,
yeah. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So you got to that dream, like you're traveling, like it's for weddings, but you're still traveling like DJ. And like that's
literally,
That's what I would say is like it didn't feel like a wedding. Yeah. Like, like you have the standard wedding reception and yours didn't feel like that. So that's how you're talking about creating something different and something new.
Yeah.
You've kind of almost created that club scene that you wanted to do. You've created it within weddings.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like wanted the club touring DJ, but now I'm the wedding touring DJ.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's epic.
Logistically wise, how do you go with that? Like just all your gear?
It sort of depends where we go. So like if we can drive, like we'll be able to do it and take our own gear.
Yep.
But a lot of places, like if it's not too rural, we'll have like AV that you can hire. Like there's companies and venues will have like an AV person on their books to go like, hey, like here's who we recommend for AV.
Yep.
And we've got a list of the like requirements that we would have. So then like there's still like that quality in the gear. It's not just like this little thing in the corner. It's like, it's a proper
Bluetooth system in the background.
Exactly. Yeah. So like the hire is still like a proper thing that like we would provide if we were providing it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Unreal. How do you ever like, there's a bunch of venues, I don't know what it's like down here, but we've got a bunch of venues near us where they have like a lot of decibel limits and stuff like that.
Yep.
Do you struggle with that? Is that a thing down here? And is that something like, how do you, like, are you meeting with your clients and being like, hey, what venue are you getting married at? if you know that venue, then you're probably like, oh, they do or don't have limits. If you don't know the venue, you're reaching out. Like, how do you kind of navigate that area?
Yeah, I think that just comes from being in the industry for so long now. Like, I've been to so many venues and you sort of know which ones are limited sound-wise and whether we know if we can basically offer our product, essentially.
Yep.
But it would just be like, we would never say that to a couple sort of thing because they've already booked their venue.
Yeah,
so
sure.
it would just be like we're unavailable on your date and then offer them recommendations.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, so because that would be pretty heartbreaking for them if they found this beautiful venue and all they've wanted is you.
Yeah.
But you don't want to offer this watered down version of yourself either because that's essentially your marketing.
For sure.
You don't want to suit the decibel level limits, but then it's not you.
For sure. And it's become really hard, especially with like house music sort of thing. Like a decibel limit isn't too bad if you're playing like, say, a classic wedding DJ set where you're just playing
100%.
sort of like Kaysan or like horses or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't play those songs. But if you're playing house music, it's a constant like beat.
Boom, boom,
so like it hits that threshold too often sort of thing. But if it's a sing-along, the threshold is like so much further down. Oh my God. So like you can get away with it a lot better. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Are you finding a lot of your clients at the moment are coming from previous weddings, or are they coming to see you at one of the boiler sessions? Or
I would say mostly from people seeing me at other people's weddings, sort of thing. Because people generally, like, if they go to a wedding that I've like played at, they'll wake up the next day. They're like, "Where were we just then?" We're
what
like,
the
like, were we just at a wedding, or was that like, we're at Tomorrowland?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I mean, if their friends have brought the party, then they have to at least match it as well.
Exactly. Yeah, our wedding's got to be better than that.
You're like, oh my God.
We're
Like,
two DJs.
yeah. And then it could almost be out of fear, like, oh my God, we have to have that person because like, what if the other person isn't as good?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of your clients, I'm guessing, would be around the cities. Like, are you doing a lot of rural stuff?
Yeah, like definitely. Like we go down to like Mona Farm a lot, like down south.
Yep.
Go inland as well, out to like Gunnaganu Station, out to like Tamworth.
Yep.
And
we're in there in a couple of months.
It's really nice out there.
Yeah,
Super nice venue.
Like, is that locals or is that people coming from Sydney or Newcastle or Melbourne flying out to there?
They're generally destination. Yeah. Or like maybe they've had family out that way. Like, is that the same for sort of like Gavin Bar is like obviously a fair way inland.
A lot of destos, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
So all those are sort of like destinations. Same with like Redleaf here, like a lot come from like in Newcastle and stuff, but also heaps of Sydney people would come through here or anywhere really because it's like here for like the weekend sort of thing. So yeah.
So good. We reach out to our followers and hit them up for any questions they might have.
Yeah.
So I might just fire a couple at you. What's the most memorable wedding that you've DJ'd and why? There'd be a memory.
That's so hard. That's like the hardest question to answer ever.
Yeah.
You were talking about some weird and wonderful times in this room that we're sitting in not long ago.
Yeah. I didn't DJ that one though. Although
He gets away with it.
I did do a little cameo. So maybe we could class that as like Reese and Loz's wedding. That was very, very memorable, which was at Redleaf. And yeah.
Like what makes like a memorable wedding for you guys?
The people.
Yeah.
It's the people that bring that energy and party sort of thing, like sort of matching what you're doing sort of thing. So it's hard to really like
pinpoint
an exact one because there's a lot.
Yeah.
They're all a blur.
And they're just like weekend. They're great. Like each of them are just so great.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote it down and I was like, that's gonna be tricky.
Yeah.
How can we make sure that our wedding songs are played? Our favorite songs are played during the wedding.
So we do like a bit of a Q&A when you book with us. So we'll go through a bunch of different questions like, what's your favorite song or artist at the moment? You can put a link to like a Spotify playlist that we try and push people not to make a Spotify playlist, but to show us what you like sort of thing, because that's sort of the thing. Like you could almost guarantee what people are going to put on a Spotify playlist if they try to make one for their wedding.
Yep.
Sort of thing. So I just want to see what people actually listen to when they're going to
Car
work,
trips,
in the car or whatever, you know, like it'll be completely different to what actually goes on that playlist.
Yeah.
So
100%.
And I'd say you would be in that high end, bracket.
sure.
Like all the weddings we see you at, they are high end weddings.
Yeah.
So I assume by that point, people are they know who you are. They're trusting the process, trusting you to bring the party.
For sure.
So I feel like they could be a lot more hands off and like, you're the professional, you do you, and we know it's going to be sick.
Exactly. And yeah, like that's what we say with the questionnaire as well. Like definitely want to get a feel and a vibe for what people like know and love.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we fit that in through the day, but it is more of a guide and supposed to just be a bit of fun.
Yep.
A DJ on the day, like a good DJ, is basically reading the room, reading the vibe, and like pushing things to where you want to get it to, sort of thing. And like the more restriction you put on a DJ set, the worse it's going to be.
Yeah,
100%.
They can't be creative. They can't. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. If you've got full creative freedom, you're going to do a much better job.
Definitely.
Sort of thing, because you're like, I can really test some things out here and try some different things and see where we can get it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know much about the process. What is the process of, okay, you're setting up for a wedding and you're putting together, like, I guess, a playlist, or is much of that on the fly, or is a lot of that planned out before you get to the wedding? How does that work?
So you put ideas down like prior.
Yep.
So I will make like a couple of different like folders. So I'll have the couple's name, and then I'll have like an early set.
Yep.
I'll have dance floor openers. Later, my end ideas. I'll put some ideas down that I want to finish the night with.
Gotcha.
I always want that to be different.
Yep.
I don't want it to like, too many weddings finish with horses.
Yeah.
And granted, like I'll do it from time to time, maybe like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it every weekend, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, because that's not relatable to
It just becomes boring.
Yeah, it's not
like, for
relatable.
you,
Yeah, and like it's too expected.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So
yeah. If it comes out of nowhere and people haven't seen it at one of your sets, and then all of a sudden it comes on, like shit, what I mean?
And then it's kind of like, it's kind of special.
Yeah.
And it's like special for that day. And then it's like, the next weekend it's going to be like something different. And
Yeah, love it. We're really into a specific genre. Can the DJ focus on that while keeping? Can the DJ focus on that while keeping everyone else entertained? It's a really weird worded question.
I think I've got it like a vibe. So like they like a certain genre and they like really want to hear a lot of it,
That's
but
what I'm
also
thinking.
like worried that their other guests wouldn't like it, sort of thing.
Like maybe they had 60% friends and then 40% family, and their family's a bit older and they're not musos, or they don't appreciate music maybe.
Yeah, and that'll just come down to like a good DJ reading the room and like seeing who's there, sort of thing. Like if you turn up to a wedding and it's like 100 people and 80 of them are over 50, I'm not going to be playing
Skrillex at 6:30
fully. Like you see your crowd and you want to relate to your crowd, sort of thing. But if it's like much more younger, like you would obviously be pressing. Yeah.
Do you get, like, again, we know that you're like super talented. I don't want to keep blowing smoke up your ass, but like we know that you're like a really good high end. And like, do you get people coming up to you like requesting songs?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that happen. You get that?
Yeah. Yeah. You get requests all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
And each wedding's like totally different. The amount of requests you'll get. Like I think, on like the weekend just gone, I think I had like one request.
Just depends on how many like drunk white girls there are there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like, play this. Oh my God.
You're like, yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Just go to the bar.
Yeah. The bathroom. You're like, oh, I've already played it.
I played it while you must have been out.
Yeah. No, requests are great. Like on the night, but like it's also
it's not a guarantee.
Fully, because it might just not work with what you're playing right now, sort of thing. And
also that probably that person's blind off their face.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I'm reading the room. That ain't going to go down well. Like
exactly. And it's like a good DJ set is you've got like peaks and troughs sort of thing. And you've got to you want to hit those marks and you want to hit your trough at the right time. So then your next peak is going to really build and like be a really good moment, sort of thing. If you just keep like if you're just playing requests and just like putting songs on, it will have no flow, no vibe, and it'll just be okay.
Yeah, and that's literally like what we've found with the weddings that we're shooting is they're like same thing. I feel like they just have the DJ desk for the sake of like the look almost. Just like I've got it, but like realistically, just throwing something up on iTunes and pressing play, and then they just like have it loaded on this track over here, and they just throw the fader over. Then you're like, I mixed a song. But like they just play all the songs in their entirety. Like they're not really mixing or anything. So like, yeah, it's just like what would you recommend to? Because I feel like a lot of them are musos.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we've done many that are specific DJs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice? Because like I can understand from a couple's point of view of like you're more of a premium product than a live musician that's just playing guitar or something.
Going to do acoustic, then move into DJ.
Yeah.
Like that.
And like maybe you're doing weddings where you had the solo guitarist for the ceremony and stuff like that. Maybe the recessional, like the cocktail hour and stuff. Yeah. And then you're more reception. So like what would be your recommendation to those couples that can't afford you or you're booked out or whatever? They go for that cheaper option of the muso. How would you encourage those musos to do a better job in their DJing sets? That's not a question from the people. That's a question.
Yeah.
Like how? Because I've never thought of it in the sense of like you've got to have your valleys and your peaks and whatever. I've never thought of it that way, and so I'm like, okay, well, from us as a videography point of view, we kind of hang around for like 3 to 5 songs, but they need to be like really good, and that's what's gonna make your video.
Yeah.
We're not staying around till like midnight where you guys are blind throwing people off the balconies and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just like, how does that look, and how can you again not just cater for? It's not about catering for us and our like what content we need to get, but just like how would you recommend for them to be, like managing that a little better?
I think it just comes down to like doing more like some research with music, keeping up with trends, like keep on like pressing forward with like what you're playing sort of thing. Like you even say, for example, if you're a muso and you've got like, obviously they have breaks from singing because you can't just sing for 7 hours. Like 100%. That's outrageous. But instead of putting the same mix on your breaks, go like, all right, let's really dive in here and like create something new each time.
Yep.
And I find doing things like that, even for myself, it keeps me pressing forward with music and ideas and different things and like sifting through like different genres. And yeah, you just come up with like different ideas and like, oh, like I might put that in my like party playlist for like later.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that would be really helpful for those guys that don't really focus on the DJ side and they are more for the musician side.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, I think that would really help like the dance floor later on for sure. If they just,
because like I feel like a lot of them enjoy the DJing side of things.
Yeah.
It definitely, in my opinion, is like a service-based thing where they're just like, oh, well, like we can hang around, or they'll have someone else come in to just kind of do the DJing. But it just hasn't ever been to your standards. I'm just like, how do we bridge that gap of like,
I want to know different questions. Sorry.
I'm
jump
done.
in there.
I'm done.
You seem very like sure of yourself, who your brand is, what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Has that always been that way?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
You're like, I'm the best.
Because so many wedding vendors struggle with that.
Yeah,
they know what they want to be doing, but I still need to book jobs because this pays for our life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you've it's very apparent you've reached that point where like, this is who I am, this is what I provide, and people are booking you for this.
Absolutely.
So it seems like you can be very true to yourself.
For sure. And like a lot of the weddings that I DJ personally now, like I'll usually have an email or something that or on their form would just be like, you do you, we're just excited to have you at our wedding.
Yeah.
And we're like, great. And I'll still like, they'll have a few bits and pieces on their form that I can still get a feel for what they know and love.
Yep.
But yeah, like I'm finding now that like, a lot of couples are just really excited to have us there, which is amazing. Like I love that. And it just makes me want to do like an even better job for them sort of thing.
100%.
Because I know they trust me and I want to give every piece of me to them.
Yeah. When you were beginning, just trying to start, get into weddings, like you said, you just kind of got gigs just from doing what you're doing. Did you feel like you had to provide a watered down version of yourself at those weddings, or were you able to go straight into like, here's my boiler room set at the wedding. This is what I do.
No, for sure. Like when I first started, like I was definitely a cliche wedding DJ because like I didn't know.
Yep.
I didn't know any better. It was just like, oh, like I'm DJing a wedding. I have to play this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that's what I thought. And as the years went on, I was like, I don't have to be doing this.
Yep.
Like there's something here. There's people that want something different. And now it's here.
Was it a distinctive point that you hit and you were just like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Now I'm just doing this?
I don't know if it was a distinctive point. It was definitely like a bit of a gradual journey. But I'd say, then like the last probably like 2 years is where it's sort of like really set in stone sort of thing. Like, oh, like that's Sam and he does this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a change in branding or anything like that? Or was there anything conscious?
I don't think so. No, it was just a bit of just like that gradual growth.
Yep. And confidence
sort of
in yourself. And
yeah.
I guess the more you're true to yourself and the more people love it, you're like, oh, I need to be doing this.
Do something a bit edgier, not edgier, but just a bit different. And then you're like, see if that worked. And then it worked. And you're like, I'll do that next time. And then I'll try something else. And it probably
and it's like that. Like when you talk to a couple before they book and stuff, like you can see, like one of our questions that we ask when people inquire is like, what do you listen to when you're getting ready for a night out? And you can sort of see what people put there. Some people put a Spotify playlist or like some people just like list artists and tracks.
Yep.
And you can see straight away how much effort they put into that question is how much music actually means to them.
Yeah. Just like hip hop and you're like, okay, well then there's one that's like a list.
And you'll see certain artists on there, you go, okay, like this is well different to the norm.
Yep.
And this is going to be really suitable. And then I'll be like, this looks amazing. Like I would personally love to DJ your wedding. I think I'll be great for this.
Yeah.
And then, then you can like send them through, like they'll have links and stuff to like check out mixes and videos and stuff. And they can be like, oh, cool. Like this is the person for me.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, because we have a team, if it comes through something different, we'll be like, okay, cool. This DJ I think is going to be best for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they can check them out.
That's epic.
Yeah.
How do you cross-check that the people on your team, because like anyone on your team is now a reflection of Silent Shout.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that caliber of musician is at your level or somewhere that you are happy as your brand, that you're proud to send them out?
Yeah, so it's definitely a process to get on the books with Silent Shout.
Yeah.
And Kyle, who works in the office now and is actually going to eventually be a partner of Silent Shout.
Yep. Awesome.
Who's done, super great over the years.
What up, Kyle?
Yeah, hey Kyle. Shout out Kyle. So the first time he hit me up to like, I would always put like, let's just call it an ad, I guess, but like a little message on Instagram or whatever, like, hey, like we're looking for TJs, et cetera. And people like, hey, like I'd love to jump into this realm. I'll have like a meeting with them and stuff. And his process, he didn't get on the first time.
Yeah.
But then like a year or so later, I did it again, like the same sort of ad, like, hey, we're looking for DJs, and he inquired again.
Yep.
And then like that was the point where like, okay, cool. I think you'll be great to jump on board. And obviously that was a good decision.
Yeah.
Is there, in the DJ world, is there like photography, videography, there is so many courses. There's courses for days.
Yeah.
Is there things like that, like to continue to improve your craft apart from say like a YouTube or getting out on the tools and doing it more often? Is there any like learning resources for DJs out there?
Yeah, there's heaps of like online like mixing courses and stuff like that. We're actually looking at opening a Silent Shout studio as well. So we'll have like a full like club quality set up so people can actually like come in and like practice and
epic.
So stuff like that's really good, I think, to like, because you should practice your craft essentially, so you're not going to get better without practicing.
100%. That was like me when I first met Steve. He was like, time on camera, like he's like, you need to shoot. And so because I hit him up and I was like, I want to come and like just be an assistant at a wedding with you just to see if I like it. And he was like, yeah, sweet. He hit me up with like 3 dates. And then he was like, oh, bring your camera. And I was like, I thought I was just going to like carry your bag and like get you coffees and waters and stuff. And he's like, no.
You can do that too.
And he's like, no. Like when else are you going to get like 10 hours on a camera?
Yeah, fully.
Like that's, if you were to do that at home, that'd take you like 10 months.
Yeah.
So probably like same thing for you. It's just like providing that facility where they can get time on that.
Yeah, fully. And like, just practicing. And same with like before like any DJ came on board with us, like they'll still come along to a wedding like with me and just sort of like get like used to that environment sort of thing. Because it's not like all like, yes, it's really music focused, but it's also you're providing a high-end service 100%. Sort of thing. So you need to be able to think on your feet. You need to be able to troubleshoot anything and everything. If something goes wrong, you need to be able to deal with it like then and there sort of thing. There's no like, like we've lost power and just stand there with your hands in your ear sort of thing. You need to be able to like deal with like any situation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We've been talking a lot lately about teams and how I wish I had someone on a team from early on. Since having people like you, are you calling it like an agency? Like what are you building out as far as Silent Shout goes?
Yeah, that's sort of like the goal. And we're actually, how you were mentioning a rebrand earlier, we're actually rebranding at the moment. And like I really want it to, as we really focus now more on people choosing their own DJ and really focusing on matching people. We really want to like have that like in there sort of, I've actually lost my words now.
Like just in the forefront of the whole brand. Like,
So like, people have like, we'll have like artist profiles and all that sort of stuff. So people will be able to like just match up with their DJ.
Yeah. I was just saying like, I feel like being so many people in the wedding industry are just themselves and that's it.
Yeah.
And I feel like as soon as you team up with someone, your growth is just exponential.
Fully.
You've been doing this for 12 years, I think you were saying. Do you feel like once you kind of started taking on other people and like looking outside of just booking for yourself, have things really exploded since that point?
Oh, for sure. Like, the amount of, like the couples that inquire with us now is,
it's insane.
Getting crazy. And that's where like Kyle works in the office with us now as well, because it's definitely not a job I can do alone anymore. So,
yeah. I feel like this is just my perspective, but I feel like over the last, say, 2, 3, 4 years, there was like a massive expand in wedding vendors. There were so many more people that jumped onto weddings.
Yeah.
And as a result, I feel like there's so much more watered down because everyone wants photo and video now. They want acoustic and DJ. They want celebrant and MC. But I feel like everyone that's in that market, there is so much competition because there's all this watered down vendors that do everything.
Yeah.
Whereas for you, you're not competing with other DJs that are doing that. Like it's not even an apples for apples, you versus a muso that's also doing DJing. Yeah. And it's not the same product.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to like everyone I speak to, I'm trying to like Joel and I have even spoken about it. Like, why don't we just do video together and make it the best video ever? Because there are so many photographers that are now doing video, but it's like a half-hearted thing.
Yeah.
Like you look at bottle brush films, like they're video only and they are one of the best in Australia at wedding films.
Yeah.
Like hands down. And it's just like, you can find that in photographer and DJs, like celebrants, where they're just like, I'm a celebrant or I'm a DJ or whatever it is. And you're just like not trying to be like, same thing, like I have a photo video. I'm a good photographer, I'm a good videographer, but I'm not the best in either.
Yeah.
But it's like, but why, like Steve's saying, don't just water everything down. We're all just trying to like almost be like, gimme all the bookings.
Yeah.
Rather than just being like, let's just like be the best videographers and just like make the best shit. Like
absolutely. And that's sort of like with us as well. We're like, I'm a DJ and I want to be the best DJ I possibly can be for these couples.
Yeah.
And then, bringing a team on board is like finding people that are committed to doing that as well. They want to be the best version of themselves sort of thing. Same with the soloists as well. Like really focusing on being as good as they can be for these couples.
Yeah. I just feel like over the next couple of years, there's going to be a big exodus from weddings because so many people are struggling right now, so many vendors, but it's only the vendors that aren't in the higher end. It's kind of lower to middle because they're trying to do everything and get everything they can. So I think now is the time to really, like you're saying, like hone your craft and just specialize. I feel like over the next couple of years, the people who specialize are going to destroy it and everyone else is going to kind of just fall away.
Yeah.
But that's just my perspective.
That's a really good question, actually. And it prompted me in the sense of we've been shooting weddings of late and talking with industry people, and a bunch of people are like, they obviously know us as the podcast guys, so they're like, we need to talk about this on the wedding, on the podcast about how quiet the industry is and all that sort of stuff. And I don't like talking about it all that much because I feel like we're kind of giving too much power to it. And I guess I'm not feeling it because I'm booked out for this year and I'm 3/4 booked for next year. So I'm not like feeling the massive pinch. But then there's other people where they're like looking on like Seek for like other jobs and they're looking at going and working like night shifts at Coles and stuff like that because they're just feeling like a real pressure within the wedding industry right now. Like, are you feeling that?
No.
That's what I thought. And I feel like it has to come back to like you're just really fucking good at like what you do, and that resonates with a shit ton of people.
Yep.
And that brings you work.
Yep.
Like
Fully. Yeah, I think so. And like if you're committed to your craft, love what you do, and do great at it, like I feel like you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Well,
I was glad it wasn't just like me just thinking like, why am I busy? But all these people that I'm talking to aren't. Like,
there's a lot of quiet. Yeah.
I'm just the best. That's what I'm trying to say.
So going to California soon, Tuesday, you said?
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Awesome. Yeah. Is there any dream locations that you want to go to for weddings?
I think I'm hitting it. Maybe like Africa was a really big one, and
sick.
Yeah, I'm actually talking to another couple at the moment, so I might send this to them and be like, hey, like,
so, I'm the best. Listen to these boys.
Just listen to the first minute on repeat.
please. So like South Africa earlier this year was like a huge bucket list moment. There was Africa is a place I've wanted to go to since watching The Lion King as a kid.
Yeah.
So I've been like dying to go there, and it's like so
That's
surreal.
why Lion King comes out of each wedding. He's just manifesting.
Exactly. That's been it's called King of Africa, that little edit actually. It's awesome.
Sick.
So sick. So that was a real destination I've always wanted to go to, and I love America as well. Going to California is going to be.
Do you know where in Cali you going?
Yeah, just down. It's called Paso Roble.
Okay,
it's just down south from San Francisco.
Oh, beautiful!
Awesome.
Yeah, and they found us on TikTok, and we also had a similar conversation. They were like, "We found you. Will you come to America?"
Wow.
Like, let me think about that. I only fly first class, and I've got a team.
Awesome. That's dope.
That
How long
coastline
ago
there,
did you book that?
Yeah.
Like a year ago.
Man, you just been hanging out for it,
Yeah, very excited for it. So my partner Bonnie's coming over with us as well. So
cool. Are you making a trip of it?
Yeah, we'll go for a couple of weeks because obviously it's coming to the off season now. So like I just did my last wedding on Saturday in Australia, and then I'll do this one like next Saturday. It's on.
Yep.
And then we've got a 3-week trip over there to
so good.
Relax,
chill,
like compress a little bit.
Is the Europe scene big for DJ? Like I know it is, all the party islands and everything are.
Yeah.
But like, say Italy's in France and everything like that. Are they big for DJs over there?
I haven't broken that market yet. So a lot of the guys that we work in the office with in Newcastle, like More Life Films and like House of Lucy.
Yep.
They're all going over to Europe in the next couple of weeks. For their summer.
Yep.
And I think for those vendors, like photo, video, they've really jumped into that mark of being able to travel over there really well. But I don't think for DJs, it's happened just yet.
Yep.
I don't know, like maybe the market for DJs over there is a bit different.
Yep.
But hoping to break that market maybe next summer, hopefully.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm going to swing back to a couple of questions.
Yeah.
How do you DJ? How do your DJs get the party started and keep everyone on the dance floor?
I would say just being in tune with who's in front of you, sort of thing. So, and also bringing an energy sort of thing. Like people will feel what you put out, sort of thing. So, I'm not like when I finish a DJ set, like I'm
cooked,
sweating, like really going for it, like giving people energy and transferring that to the dance floor, sort of thing. So,
what's more energy, the boiler room sets or weddings?
Well, I'll do like I'm DJing the same way. Either way.
Yeah.
Like no matter if it's a wedding of 20 people or 100 people or like playing like a club sort of thing, always bring that same energy because that's what the brand is essentially.
True.
So
Is there a certain amount of guests is your usual, like your 100 kind of guests, 200? Like is there?
No, it's definitely always different. Yep. And there's actually, I know you've mentioned like a memorable wedding. There's actually, I've just had a memory.
Let's go.
And it's like Redleaf out the front of the house here. It was a smaller wedding, about 40 people.
Yep.
And it was insane. And I always like get inquiries from people like having a more intimate wedding. They're like worried that it's like not going to be fun or whatever. But like, I always just tell people like, if you're going out, like how many people are you going out with?
True. Yep. Mm-hmm.
8?
Yeah.
Sort of thing, or 10 or something like that. Like you don't need a lot of people to have a good time. Fair sort point. Of thing. And like, that was like really memorable. It was like 40 people at the wedding, 40 people on the dance floor the whole night. Like they just had like their closest friends and their parents, and like it was sick.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
I said like my wedding we only had 18, but we had tarantula dancers, I think they're called. Like it's a tarantula band where they play and it's supposed to be like you're being bitten by a tarantula and you have to dance it out. That's the whole point of it. And so we had, it was like 2 hours.
So weird, but it was epic.
Like it was crazy. Like we walked into our reception. I think there was like 2 hours of dancing.
Yeah.
There was only 18 of us because it was just immediate family. That was all.
Yep.
And dude, like shirts are off. We were like sweating and like we'd go to sit down to have some food and they'd drag you back up and they're like, no. And like, and like it was so much fun. And like there was 18 people.
Yeah.
But then there'll be others where same thing, like you go and there's like 50 people and you know, like nothing's ever going to happen here. You know, like, you know, there isn't a party atmosphere whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the energy you bring for sure.
For sure. And then like, like I was saying, the people in front of you sort of thing, like people as a, like you should know, I guess, like what you're like sort of thing personally. Like I know, like I love music. If I'm attending a wedding, I'm not leaving the dance floor. Like I love to party.
Yeah.
I've made a career out of it.
Yeah.
I guess. So like
I will send.
yeah, absolutely. And like I'm like practice what you preach in a way a little bit too. Like you'll find me on the dance floor if I'm out or at a wedding, that sort of thing. So and if you're like that as a couple, like you should probably invest in a great DJ because like you guys love to party, your friends love to party, like you're going to be on the dance floor all night. So yeah.
How would you go about finding a good DJ? Because
www.silentshout.com.
Taking bookings in Africa.
I just feel like my big thing for starting the podcast was just like there's so many people are so overwhelmed planning a wedding and they almost get to the end of the wedding and they're like, thank goodness that's done. That was stressful as heck. I don't want to do that again. Most people say if I did it again, I'd elope because it was just stressful and hectic. And so it's like, what would you tell couples again? Let's say your entire team's booked. What would be your recommend, or even if they're not booked, even if they're considering you, but like, what would you tell couples to look for in it to make a good DJ, to like create atmosphere at their reception?
Oh, that's so hard to answer. It's like
so personal to the couple.
Yeah, it's just like keep looking, like find someone or have if you've found another company or something, like book a call with them, see if you vibe with them sort of thing. Like I think that's really important too, like to really like mesh with the person that you're
because I feel like it's a common thing that we hear, especially with like live musicians and stuff, where they're like, my couples will always ask me, we were talking to a musician recently and he's like, my couples always ask me like, do I play at restaurants or whatever, because so they can come and hear me before they book or whatever. And he's like, I don't, like I just do weddings. And so like he finds open days at like venues and stuff really helpful because he can be like, cool, you can come, I'm playing for the most of the day, come and hear me sing or play or whatever. Yeah. And so for us as photographers and videographers, you can go on our Instagram and you can see all of our work. You can pull up a video and be like, that's my vibe. Or be like, I want something different, go to someone else.
Yeah.
So I was just like intrigued how that looks for like a DJ. Like how does someone gauge whether you're going to kill the dance floor or not?
Yeah, well, that's where we've done all that content as well. So like people can actually like, when they inquire with us, they'll see a photo of Sam. You'll click, take a listen, and it'll take you to like YouTube where we have, I think I've got like 4 or 5 like mixes up there sort of thing.
Oh, awesome.
And so people will like be able to listen and also see the energy, not just listen, I guess. Like you'd be able to see like, oh, cool, like this is, I'm just standing there just like going, someone like looking bored or like looking at your phone, sending texts or whatever. It's just like,
and when most people come down, like if they're serious, they'll probably come down on a Sunday to see like a set or something like that anyway.
Yeah, for sure. We do have like people ask like, hey, like does this person like, especially even for like musicians, like, hey, do they play somewhere that we can go take a listen? And like, for sure. Like if they do have like gigs somewhere, we'll be like, yep, cool. Like here's their roster coming up. Like you can see them here or here. Sort of thing.
How many weddings are you trying to take yourself a year at the moment? Like what's your cap before you're just done?
I don't really have one.
All of them.
Yeah. So like, I love it so much that like, and I've worked so hard to get to here.
Yep.
So I feel like when someone wants me at their wedding, I'll do anything I can to make it happen.
Yep. Do you do anything outside of weddings to keep you like it's a taxing job what you're doing?
Yeah.
Do you do anything to look after yourself to make sure that you're in good condition for it, or you just party through?
Smokes and drinks.
Coffee.
This is such a funny question because like Bonnie's going to listen to this. She'd be like, "Oh my god, you like overwork so much." And yeah, it's definitely been an exhausting year. I'm definitely looking forward to a break and to get refreshed to come back into next season like refreshed. But yeah, and it's something I'm going to really try and focus on next year is like making sure I have like a weekend off from time to time so I can actually like, recover a little bit. Yeah.
Go out and party somewhere else.
Hit the clubs.
Yeah. No,
Awesome.
But yeah, I find it hard to say no when someone's like, oh my God, like we love what you do and we'd love to have you at your wedding. You'd be like, okay, how can I make this happen?
Yeah.
Even if it's like, I was saying the other weekend before I was in Queensland on the Friday and then the Hunter Valley on Saturday.
Yep.
And I had to drive as well. It was a lot.
Yeah.
But just worked out someone to do the AV for the Saturday. So I didn't have to do any setup or pack up or anything. So I could have that rest.
Yeah, cool.
And get a decent hotel. And so you can have a good night's sleep. And then it's just sort of like make it work sort of thing.
So you weren't sleeping in the back of the swag that night or something?
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So I think we've been over an hour already.
Sick.
How should people find you? Let's talk about that. And then we can talk about a little bit like the agency, what you're building out there as well.
So find us, Silent Shout Ent.
And TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok as well.
Yeah. It's booking jobs.
Yeah, for America. Actually, they don't even have it there anymore, I don't think.
Oh, really?
You can, but
No joke.
I think so. I found that out yesterday.
Yeah, okay. I know they were pushing for it.
Yeah.
There you
There you
go. All right.
And what was that, the agency?
Yeah. So, because obviously you're probably going to be trying to book as many jobs probably through the agency as well. Is that all going to be within Silent Shout as well?
Yep. So that's going to be like what we're going to focus on is like the agency side. So people will like have like come in and go like, cool, like here's the people on our roster.
Yep.
And then they'll be able to like, really like, read a profile and the people like, and really focus on artists being matched with couples sort of thing is going to be like our focus moving forward.
I know I hashed on that you guys are like incredible DJs, but you're also saying that you've got like good musicians. Is that something that you've tacked on as well?
Yeah.
I guess for like your business, like it might be helpful for people to know that you're not just DJs.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a bunch of musicians now on board. Yeah, like 7, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And 2 of them also play in full bands as well. So like we can, put you in touch with those people as well. And also it's like and with that inquiry as well, like, hey, like we think like the live music will match early, then a DJ later will like really fit well for that couple sort of thing. So it just sort of depends on the inquiry.
So you guys can be a one-stop shop whether you want a DJ, a soloist or a band.
Yeah.
Cool. And they're going to be the best.
Let's go.
You're not doing everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We've got a sax player now as well, actually.
I love the sax. That's every wedding should have a sax player in my opinion.
Really, really good. And like he's amazing. And I was always like a little bit skeptical because like, you want that product to be really great. And also you want your musicians to mesh really well too.
Yep.
So like I played with a few and not really meshed great. And then like, I don't think the product is as good.
Yep.
But this guy, like I've played with him a few times. First time was at Redleaf actually. I was just like, damn, like you're really good. And he like matches the energy that I do as well.
Yep.
He's like out in the middle of the dance floor, like really vibe, and he's got his sunnies on and stuff. He's like so sick.
As the first time that we saw a sax player at a wedding, one of your weddings in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I was just like mind blown.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is a thing. These Melbournians.
So good. Like they know how to party. Like
It's crazy. So
awesome.
Definitely memorable experiences.
Yeah. They're really, really cool. And like, that's just all stuff you can like, we can talk and help people through sort of thing. Like, hey, like, what's something we can do that's like a bit different or something like that's really, really cool. Cause it's like they're in on the dance floor, like with you sort of thing. It's like really elevating the experience sort of thing. So,
rather than like stashed in a corner, just like playing music, you're just like, no, we're entertainment. Like
fully. Yeah. And that's like what I liked about, what Dave does on the sax sort of thing. So yeah.
So good.
Awesome.
Love it.
Man, thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure.
Like, yeah. Ever since we were coming down here, like you're always going to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, man, thank you so much.
We kind of planned the
appreciate
trip
it.
with you in mind. So, we're just like, he's number one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you so much, guys.
Legend.
Yeah, really
Thanks so
appreciate
much.
it.
Awesome. Have fun in Cali.
Yeah.
I will be. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Legend. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to the Wedco podcast. We're dropping a fresh episode every week featuring industry professionals dishing out the wedding wisdom you need to turn those dreams into reality. Make sure you are following us on social media, you have those notifications turned on so we can help plan your wedding day. Your dream wedding day just got a whole lot easier. Thanks for listening.